Hi everyone, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion channel. Today we're going to cover the wedding of the year, the wedding of Crown Prince Hussein of Jordan to Rajwa Al Saif. Now I've been very excited about this wedding. I've been covering it over the past couple of weeks on my other YouTube channel, Royal Daily Tea. But today we're going to go over the courtship, a little bit of the background, and get into the royal wedding and fashion. So sit back and relax, guys, and let's get into it. So a little background about the bride. Rajwa was born on the 28th of April 1994 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. She is the youngest of 4 children born to Saudi businessman Eli Saab, who is the CEO of a privately owned company, Al Saif Group, and his wife Azza al-Zadari. Now she's also a member of the Saudi Arabian nobility. Rajwa completed her secondary education in Saudi Arabia and proceeded to complete her higher education at the Syracuse University School of Architecture. She also studied and worked in Los Angeles, earning a degree from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. She also worked at an architecture firm in Los Angeles. Now, Crown Prince Hussein is the eldest child of King Abdullah and Queen Rania. He was born on the 28th of June, 1994 in Amman, Jordan. Now, he also has 3 siblings, Princess Iman, Princess Salma, and Prince Hashem. Hussein started his primary education at the International School of Shofat and the International Amman Academy. He finished his high school at King's Academy in 2012, attained a bachelor's degree in international history at Georgetown University in 2016, and graduated from the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in 2017. He is captain in the Jordanian Armed Forces. Now let's get to the good part, the meet cute. Now, according to Prince Hussein, he met Rajwa through a mutual friend from school. However, he has not disclosed who that friend is or the actual timeline of the courtship. Now, the couple became officially engaged on the 17th of August, 2022, and made their first formal appearance in October of 2022. Now, this wedding was a very huge and very important wedding. This is the first time in almost 30 years that a future king of Jordan got married in front of millions of people across the world. Now, the religious ceremony was held in front of 140 people at Zahran Palace, followed by a huge banquet where they had around 1,700 guests. So let's get into the good part, guys. Let's get into the royal fashion. So Raja, Her Royal Highness, Princess Raja, looked every bit the royal bride. Now she wore a custom Eli Saab gown. Now, according to the designer, it took a team of 20 people and up to 3 months to make her wedding dress. Now, this dress is a little bit different. It's a little bit modern. To be honest, when I first saw it, I wasn't sure what to think about it, but now it has definitely grown on me. It's a white silk crepe gown with long sleeves. It has a very asymmetric neckline, a draped bodice, and it has a very curve-hugging silhouette, and then it has this very long, full train with these cut-out flowers with pearl details. Now, I thought she looked absolutely gorgeous. I loved the dress. Some people had mixed feelings about it. Now, the bride wore her hair very long and loose with loose waves and curls underneath a beautiful veil and a custom tiara from Fred Jewelry. Now, her tiara was also very interesting and unique, that it was made from platinum and diamonds, but did feature an inscription that said "Hope from God in Arabic. Her earrings also looked like they were made from the same pattern and diamonds that matched her tiara. She looked flawless. She looked beautiful. She did wear flats on her wedding, which I'm not sure how I feel about the flats. If you look at the back of her wedding dress, she does have a slit that's probably there to make it easier for her to walk in her wedding gown, so you can see her sling back flats. Now, her and her husband are both 5'7", so in my opinion, she just didn't want to tower over her husband, and let's be honest here, the girlfriend wanted to be comfortable on her wedding. Now, she did have a very small, elegant bouquet of flowers. To me, the overall look was 10 out of 10. Now let's get into the fun part, the royal guest fashion show. We are definitely spoiled at this event. We had the religious ceremony fashion, and then we had the banquet reception, which was a tiara night. So we had a lot of fashion going on. Now, in my opinion, pink seems to be the color of the summer. Due to the Barbie movie, everyone is wearing the Barbie pink. So there was a lot of pink, there was a lot of florals for this fashion, and everyone was rocking long dresses. And I'm here for it. I love a modest, elegant look, and most of these ladies looked amazing in their wedding attire. So the first up is Princess Elizabeth of Belgium. She looked absolutely stunning in this beautiful fuchsia cape gown. I absolutely loved the flow of this gown. She wore her hair down and loose. She looked beautiful. Again, when you're young, you can get away with a lot of stuff, but I really did enjoy the simplicity of the gown, and she paired it with a beautiful pair of diamond and kunzanite earrings. She didn't overdo the dress, and I thought she looked absolutely fabulous. Now, Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden, I think she is stunning. I love her style. One thing I will say about the European and the Jordanian royals is they're not afraid to take a fashion risk. They love bold fashion, they love patterns, they love colors. They're not afraid to put on a fashion show. A lot of the UK royals are beautiful, they're classic, but they don't take a lot of fashion risks. And that is one thing I do like about Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden. She is not afraid to wear neon or hot pink, and I absolutely love that about her. However, one thing I would like to change or see a little bit more of is Crown Princess Victoria tends to wear her hair up in a very severe bun, and I would love to see her wear her hair down with loose curls more often. Now, she wore a beautiful floral print satin maxi dress, and she paired it with a pair of Bulgari earrings. Now, keeping with the floral dress, we had the beautiful Crown Princess Mary of Denmark. She looked absolutely beautiful in her floral print gown. She did something a little bit interesting with the dress. She changed the color of the belt. I believe the original was a black belt. She wore like this blue ribbon, and she also wore that in her hair. Now, some people said they didn't care for her wearing the ribbon in her hair, but I'm not mad at it. I like the fact, again, she took a chance, and she's very similar to what Princess Beatrice did with her gown as well. She also did a bow in her hair to match the belt in her dress. So Crown Princess Mary and Princess Beatrice were very similar on how they styled a belt and their hair, but I thought she looked absolutely stunning in this dress. Now here we have probably one of my favorites was Princess Beatrice. She looked absolutely stunning in a needle and thread dress. It was called the Celia gown in a pale blue. Now she also added some kind of like belt to her waist, and she had the same color bow in the back of her hair. I love the way she did her hair. I love that style. Some people did not like her adding a belt. They thought it broke up her body. But in my opinion, it accentuated her tiny waist. She's got a very tiny waist. I like the fact that it was a bold contrast in the middle of a very light colored gown. And again, she followed suit like Crown Princess Mary by wearing the black bow in the back of her hair. I thought she looked elegant. She looked stunning. I really, really hope that King Charles will bring both Beatrice and her husband as working royals. I know other people have mentioned this as well, but I really do believe they would be a positive asset to the royal family. She's stunning. She's classy. She's without blemish. She stays out of the drama, and her husband always act correctly at events. She looked absolutely stunning. One of my favorites for the daytime wedding event. Now, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands is another one of my favorites. She wore this beautiful organza printed gown that had wide sleeves. She looked stunning. Again, she is also someone who is very colorful and not afraid to take fashion risks. Now, some people were saying that her neckline was a little too low because this is a very conservative Muslim country, and I was a little surprised that she was a little bit boobalicious, but she wasn't overly showing the cleavage. As a matter of fact, the original gown was much lower, so you can definitely tell she had raised the cleavage part, but again, I kind of feel like she probably should have put something over it. She's gorgeous. She's Queen Maxima. She wore her hair down with loose curls. I thought she looked absolutely beautiful. Now, one of my most favorite looks of the day was, of course, Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She is one of those people who can make a dress look better on her than on the actual runway model. If you look at the original gown, it was custom, it was made more modest, but she looked so beautiful. Now, to me, it gives very Victorian vibes, the high neck collar, the puffy sleeves. But I loved the color of the dress. Again, Catherine has been wearing a lot of pink as of late, but I'm loving it. I love pink. She's beautiful. She looks beautiful in anything that she wears. I think this is an Eli Saab gown, but she looked stunning in this dress. Now, a lot of people are saying she looks dowdy. Why is she wearing that? But people are not realizing this is a royal wedding where it's a modesty, it's a long dress, it's long sleeves. Again, the flow of the fabric made her look like she was just floating on a cloud. I absolutely love her dress. She was one of my favorites of the day. Now, Princess Iman wore a very interesting dress. I believe it was from Ashi Studio. It's a couture gown. Again, the Jordanian royals love high couture. They will take it right off the runway. It was kind of a beige colored gown. She paired it with a pair of beige leather pumps and a very interesting handbag. But I'm not sure how I feel about the bodice. It's a little too wrapped for me. Not my favorite look, but she is a beautiful young lady. Now, her sister, Princess Salma of Jordan, wore a draped maxi dress in an aqua blue color. I actually prefer this dress over her sister's gown. Again, they're not afraid of weird shapes, colors. You know, they really like to go for the high fashion look. I believe it's from Stella McCartney. But again, I really liked the look, and she paired it with some gold leather pumps. I thought she looked stunning. The color was beautiful. It's very summer. Again, I think I prefer this dress over that of her sister's. Now, Queen Rania is a beautiful woman. She is one of my favorite royals. I have been watching her for over 20 years. She is absolutely stunning. She wore a custom couture Dior gown in black that had a very intricate detailing of a pattern on the neck and at the cuffs of the dress. And the back detail was also really pretty. However, I'm not sure if I like the black at a wedding. To me, it was a little bit more like a funeral dress. Again, I know some people like to wear black to weddings. I didn't care for the black at the wedding. To be honest, I would have loved to have seen her in some color. She's such a beautiful woman. I just don't like her in black. And to me, it was just a little too drab for a summer wedding. She should have wore color, or maybe a pale beige or something, but the black was very, very stark, and I just did not care for this look for the wedding. Now, hereditary Princess Sophie of Liechtenstein looked gorgeous. She wore this beautiful navy gown with some lace detailing. It was like a wrap dress. I believe it was a Diane von Furstenberg gown. I'm not 100% sure, but she looked stunning. I loved her outfit. It was very classic. I'm a fan of a wrap dress. I think most women, you can hide a multitude of sins in a wrap dress. It hides the belly. It gives you a waist. It's always a very flattering gown, and I thought she looked absolutely elegant in this dress. It was one of my favorites. Now, Jill Biden was there as well. She wore kind of this gold or bronze looking metallic dress. I did not care for the neckline or the front of the dress. It had this weird white pearl detailing, and then it was kind of low cut in the front. She was accompanied by her daughter, who was wearing either a black or a navy dress that came down to her shins. I didn't care for either one of these looks, to be honest. I thought they looked okay, but I wasn't blown away by their appearance. So there was a very interesting woman who showed up to the wedding. She was a whole vibe. She was gorgeous and very bold in her fashion statement. She was Sheikha Moza of Qatar. Now, she wore a very interesting vintage 1989 couture evening coat that was inspired by the Viennese architect Joseph Hoffmann, and she also wore a turban. Again, this woman was a vibe. She looked elegant. She looked gorgeous. She was a showstopper. I absolutely loved her look. So out of all of these ladies' daytime wedding dresses, who was your favorite? For me, it was a toss-up between Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and Princess Elizabeth of Belgium, and probably Princess Sophie of Liechtenstein. Let me know which one you guys liked the best. Okay, so let's talk about the white tie affair, the wedding reception banquet. This was the moment we were waiting for, ball gowns with tiaras. We love these kind of events. Now, a lot of people have very mixed feelings about Raja's second dress. Many people were ripping her on social media. Now look, it's huge, it's bulky, it's out there. But again, the Jordanian royal women love haute couture fashion. They're not afraid to take a chance. If you're ever going to go big and bold, it's going to be your wedding day. Yes, she wore a custom Dolce & Gabbana gown. It's called the Alta Moda gown. Very, very poofy. Had a huge train, had some tulle underneath it with some flowers. I thought she looked elegant. She paired it with some white gloves and her wedding day tiara. It was a statement. It was huge. Now, a lot of people on social media were ripping her, saying she looked like a wedding cake topper, that it was over the top. They didn't like it. But again, in my opinion, if you're going to go big, it's your wedding. That's your day. That's the one day you can wear a huge white puffy ball gown and a tiara and gloves. Now, the one thing I will say I didn't really like, I didn't care for her hair. I thought if you're going to wear such a big, bold dress, she should have had her hair a little bit nicer. It was a little too messy, kind of like she just stuck up a bobby pin and left. I didn't care for the hair. It was a little too messy bunish for me. I think she should have had a more sleek hairstyle than the messy bun. Some people might like it. I didn't really care for it that much. But again, I thought she looked absolutely stunning. Now, Queen Rania wore another Eli Saab gown, and this one was kind of a beige and gold or white and gold gown. Now, to me personally, I liked this dress better than the black Dior gown. I thought she looked absolutely stunning, and Queen Rania was also wearing her Arabic scroll tiara. So I thought she looked very, very elegant, very pretty. I much preferred her evening dress than to her daytime black Dior gown. Princess Amalia joined her parents for the evening banquet. And I have to be completely honest with you, I did not like Princess Amalia's look. I thought the look was very matronly. She's only 20 years old. She looked like a cross between Miss America and going to the prom. I also feel her tiara is just too big. For such a young lady, I think she should wear a more dainty tiara. I like the color, but it was too much for her with the bodice. It just looked too mother of the bride, too matronly. And Queen Maxima, I didn't really like her dress. I don't really know what's going on. I believe it's a Lady Dior gown, but again, it was just too busy. I didn't care for either of their nighttime fashions, and they both wore huge tiaras, which I thought was a little too much with their gowns. But I love the ladies. I just did not care for their nighttime fashion. So Crown Princess Victoria showed up pretty in pink in a beautiful cape gown in fuchsia. Cape gowns and pink were also very hot for this wedding. Again, she wore the severe bun for her hair. I think she would have looked nice if she would have wore it down with some loose curls. She was featuring the Boucheron Laurel Wreath tiara. I'm not a fan of this tiara, to be honest. I think it's a little bulky, but she is a beautiful woman. Again, her and her husband are one of my favorites. I just would like to see her wear her hair down occasionally because she always wears the bun. So Crown Princess Mary of Denmark wore a dress that she has worn a couple of times, and every time she wears it, she kind of changes up the look just a little bit. It's kind of this blue seafoam colored flowy gown that has an asymmetrical bodice and it's one-shouldered. Now for this event, it looked like she paired it with some kind of scarf that draped over the bodice and then her shoulder. I thought she looked really pretty and really elegant, but again, some people were questioning why she exposed her shoulder. I thought she looked absolutely stunning, and she was wearing an antique ruby and diamond tiara. So we have Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was pretty in pink. She was wearing a beautiful sequined gown from Jenny Packham, paired it with the Lover's Knot tiara and a pair of Greville chandelier earrings. Again, Catherine can make a paper bag look great. Now she looked stunning in this gown. I actually loved her hair. I love how she did that kind of combed back, teased look. To me, I'm glad she changed up her hairstyle just a little bit. I thought she looked absolutely stunning. Now, Sheikha Maza of Qatar, again, a beautiful and stunning woman. She wore this kind of neon green dress. It was a very flowy dress. She looked beautiful, and it had like a matching headscarf. She commands a room with her style and her beauty. She was one of my best dressed for the evening. Now, Princess Salma of Jordan wore a Dolce & Gabbana sequined gown, and she definitely kind of customized it by adding sleeves to it, and she wore a very dainty tiara. I think young girls look better with smaller tiaras. She looked stunning, absolutely beautiful. Now, apparently she's wearing her mother's Boucheron tiara. Princess Iman of Jordan had a very interesting look. I have to be honest, I was not a fan. She looked like a figure skater, in my opinion. If you look at the original gown, she definitely made it her own. adding a full skirt to it as kind of the sparkly material, but I thought it was just a little bit too much. Again, they like to make fashion choices and they take risks, but I was just not a huge fan of this dress. Princess Elizabeth of Belgium wore this very dark blue colored gown that had a very interesting kind of diamond pattern on the sleeves. I have to be honest with you, I did not like this dress. She definitely made it more modest for the wedding. However, I just didn't care for it on her. She's such a beautiful young lady. I didn't feel like this dress really did anything for her. So I have to say this is probably one of my least favorite gowns of the evening. Now we did have a couple more surprised guests. On top of Ivanka Trump, it is rumored the Middleton family also attended, and Nancy Pelosi was also in attendance. Now, not to be political, Nancy Pelosi actually didn't look bad in what she was wearing. It was a very interesting pattern with a cape. But again, I feel like she was going to a cruise in Florida somewhere, not really a royal wedding state banquet. I didn't think it was the right dress for the evening. The pattern was a little busy, but you know, she doesn't look bad. I just personally didn't care for it. It wasn't my favorite. So another surprise guest was Queen Sofia and King Juan Carlos of Spain. If you guys know how I feel about King Juan Carlos, go watch my series Karina and the King. But she actually looked really pretty in this dress. Unfortunately, it just had a lot going on with this weird draping over the chest area and then all of these ruffles. To me, it was a pretty color. It was just a little too busy, in my opinion. I just wasn't a huge fan of this dress. So Princess Beatrice showed up in a beautiful embellished ruffled satin gown, and she wore her mother's wedding day tiara, which I absolutely love. And she also had her hair up in a half updo, half down. Again, I think she looked stunning the entire day. Beatrice was my best dressed. I'm usually not a fan of her fashion, but she looked amazing in both of her outfits. Again, I would love to see Princess Beatrice and her husband as working royals. Hands down, one of my favorites of the entire wedding. So Princess Sophie of Liechtenstein wore a beautiful floral trench gown and featured the Kenzie honeysuckle tiara. Now I absolutely love this look. I know a lot of people may not like it, but again, pink and floral was definitely one of the major trends of the evening, and I thought she looked fabulous. So who were your favorites? There were many, many people I wanted to include. Unfortunately, I ran out of time. But in my opinion, Princess Beatrice, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and Princess Sophie of Liechtenstein were some of the best dressed for the event. And there were many, many more who looked absolutely gorgeous. But let me know who gets your vote for best dressed down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.